Congress is raising the red flag that Iran is mobilizing for a cyber war to destroy our economy. We have General Barry McCaffrey joining us to talk about it. But let's get right to our top story. Republican leadership demanding presidential leadership. The Z goes on taxpayer-funded campaign stops, slow jamming on TV, while the economy is slow jamming itself. Joining us now to talk about all this exclusively, we welcome back House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, Republican from Virginia. Leader Cantor, thank you very much, as always. Let me just ask you, Speaker Boehner raising this issue, are all these college campaign trips, not policy trips, on the taxpayer dime?
I would think that anybody looking at these campaign stops would know that this is about politics. It's not about policy. It's not about the commander-in-chief of our country going out to meet Americans. It's about a presidential candidate out campaigning. And really, it's the problem that we face in Washington. I think the American people want to see us get something done. They don't want to see us engaging in politics every day.
All right, just another quick one, if you would. Pollster John McLaughlin's out in some of the swing states. He says he finds blue-collar workers very annoyed at Obama's lavish vacations. They can't do it because of high gas. They stay at home. He's going to Hawaii first class. What's your thought on that?
I think it just reflects really a disconnected nature of Washington because, again, people are struggling out there. Really, it's anxiety-filled around the country because of the uncertainty of the future, people's inability to see any growth come back in the economy, and for anyone to sit here, and in the president in particular, it's a role model. It's sort of like having a tin ear. You know, we've got to be cognizant of the fact that there are tough times out there for people. Lavish vacations right now is not what I think middle America wants to see in terms of their elected officials.
All right, on politics again. To Rolling Stone magazine, President Obama says, Mitt Romney is an extreme conservative. He cannot run away from that, and Obama is going to hold Romney accountable. Now, is it such a bad thing to be a conservative, number one, and how should Romney react to this charge?
I think Mitt Romney should be Mitt Romney. He is a demonstrated leader in terms of job creation. He is the only candidate that has put forward a bold pro-growth plan to get this economy back on track. And when Mitt Romney's vision is compared to that of the president, there's hands down Mitt Romney is the winner. The public knows that the economy is not growing fast enough. What has made America the marvel of the world? It's our growth-oriented, aspirational society. Mitt Romney draws on that and sets us up, I think, for stellar growth in the future.
All right, stellar growth in the future. In his election night speech Tuesday night, Mr. Romney says it's still about the economy and we're not stupid. Now, some people are saying he's just attacking Obama and doesn't have Romney, his own economic growth program. You seem to think he does. Does he need to get out there with that economic growth program and a little less criticism of the president? How's that working?
Well, I mean, Larry, there's no question. This is an election that is a referendum on the president's policies, and I think that the public's demonstrated they are dissatisfied with the policies coming out of this White House. I would say, though, that Mitt Romney does have a plan. He stands for free markets, for pro-growth economics, and for getting the engine of small business and innovation going again in America. That's who we are as a society. People have come here to this country, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Right now, Washington's in the way and has made it too difficult for that to happen. Mitt Romney's got a plan to address that so we can get back to who we are.
Talking about small business tax cuts, you've got pretty spiffy 20% small business tax cut, and passed the House. I don't know what's going to happen in the Senate. What do you think is going to happen in the Senate? Why is there, I had some people on this show, some Democrats, that said this is just, tax cuts for rich people, tax cuts for hedge funds. Eric Cantor's back to doing that. What's your reaction to that?
I mean, I just don't understand why it's so difficult to get some people in Washington to say, you know what, small business people should be able to keep more of their own money because they know how to allocate their capital, grow their business, not Washington. And just because somebody who may be wealthy has a small business and is creating jobs, why can't I go home to Richmond, Virginia, and tell the folks that I represent they can get a benefit and have it easier?
The president always says it's the government's money. He says tax cuts are like spending cuts, and we can't allow that. Is it the government's money or is it the small businesses' money?
I mean, it's a fundamental difference of vision in terms of the direction of the country. I mean, I think most Americans believe it's their money, and the money is better spent with those who earn it. Now, not to say the government doesn't have a function, and we need to make sure that that is a limited and responsible government that functions. But at the end of the day, the growth in this economy, the ability for us to reinstill some optimism in America will come from the confidence private sector, and most especially our small businessmen and women. That's what the small business tax cut is about, to create more jobs.
On the path to broad-based corporate tax reform, I certainly hope, which may be the #1 priority for growth.
No question about it. You know, we can't get there right now because the president has insisted that any kind of broad-based tax reform is tax hikes. Right. We believe in lowering rates, broadening the base, simplifying the code so that capital can flow to its most efficient use without government and Washington going in and picking winners and losers to the tax code.
And last one, I love this. I read that you are supporting your fellow Virginian, Governor Bob McDonnell, for vice president. Is that true? Absolutely. McDonnell for vice president.
Listen, he is a fine gentleman. He is somebody who has steered our state through tough times. I think if you look at our unemployment rate, our growth rate, we fare a lot better than most. And Bob McDonnell and I were seatmates in our General Assembly. And he's a great guy. I think he'd make a great vice president.
Have you talked to Mitt Romney about this?
No, but again, it's Mitt Romney.
Do you intend to talk to Mitt Romney about this?
You know, Mitt Romney, it's his decision to make.
Because you're serious about pushing McDonnell.
Absolutely. And it's his, but Mitt, I think, you know, again, Mitt and his team know that it is their vision, it is Mitt Romney's leadership that's going to win the day. And I'm sure they'll make the right decision to say, look, we've got a team in place that is going to be pro-American, pro-growth, pro-success.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Many thanks, House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, as always, outspoken.